10% ring in the head of all the outlaws, Old Man Clanton.
Well, Emperor Clanton, king of all the outlaws, bushwhacked. What were they after you for?
Because I got the payroll for my outfit with me, and they don't know who I am. That's why I seen them watching outside the bank, saddled tramps.
It's a good thing I saw them, too, otherwise you'd be dead.
From this little scratch, they'd be dead, you mean. Next time I'll thank you to mind your own thunder and business.
Hey, don't you want your hat and coat?
How much money you make a month?
Well, that's kind of a personal question, isn't it?
Public official, ain't you? Matter of public record, ain't it?
Well, then you can look it up.
I'll give you $500 a month to work for me.
Doing what?
Ramrodding. Foreman of my outfit, boss the whole spread next to me.
You figure I'm worth that much money?
No, but that's my offer. What do you say?
I say no.
No.
You steal cows to stock your range, and you hold up stages to buy feed. You're a thief, and you got thieves working for you. Mr. Clanton, I don't want anything to do with your outfit.
All right, I'll give you $1,000 a month.
Why do you still ask me?
You figure you saved my hide just now. Well, don't you?
I guess you could put it that way.
'Tain't long ago you saved my sons, and now you save me. Blame it if it ain't more than a man can stand. But I'm telling you right out, you get in my way, I'll kill you just the same.
Just who do you think you are, Dameron? You run a newspaper not worth 2 bits, the whole shebang.
I've made the Tombstone Nugget the best newspaper in the West.
You made nothing. Our organization loaned you the money to start the Nugget. We supported you with county advertising and a good salary.
I know, but I'm the editor.
When I picked you up, you were a drunken printer. You want to go back to wearing patches in your pants?
I know. No, I don't.
Then you better shut up and listen. We're going to get rid of Wyatt Earp for good. And you're going to help us.
How?
By smearing him. Until the law and order folks in Tombstone get sick enough to throw him out.
Smear him? With what? Why, nobody in Tombstone will believe anything bad about Earp. He never does anything.
We'll furnish the evidence. You just print it.
Legal evidence?
Certainly. We have a dozen witnesses who will swear Wyatt Earp is leading a double life. Here. Get yourself a cheap hotel room. The witnesses will come to you.
What if Earp sues me? The witnesses will have to go to court.
They won't change their stories, even in court.
You got any other place to read a newspaper than my office?
I like it here.
The Nugget. What do you read that one for, anyway?
There's a lot in this particular issue.
Like what?
This official census, the one they took last year, for one thing.
Yeah?
How many people do you think there are in the United States?
Oh, I don't know. 40 million?
You're way off. 50 million.
No. 50 million?
Mm-hmm. According to the official 1880 census. How many people do you think there are in the Arizona Territory?
Oh, 12, 14,000?
You're even further off. 40,440.
Oh, wow. It's interesting. I always figured that Arizona's getting overcrowded.
There's another interesting item here.
Yeah, well, do me a favor and read it to the bartender over at the Alhambra, will you? I got some work to do. Gotta get out a report.
Seems there's a girl by the name of Audrey who married a fella. 2 weeks later, he got a job at the birdcage, and he took all her wages.
Who was that?
You?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Says so right here.
Let me see that.
You hurt my feelings, Wyatt. The least you could have done is invited an old friend to your wedding.
Audrey Johnson, I don't even know her. The Nugget would print anything. Now, do me a favor. Will you get out of here so I can get some work done?
How much you gonna sue them for, Wyatt?
Sue?
The paper. For libel.
I'm not gonna sue anybody. In the first place, Dameron hasn't got any money. In the second place, nobody believes it.
What I like about you, Wyatt, beside your reckless bravery, is your simple mind and trusting nature.
Very nice, Dameron, very nice. A good start.
I thought it was. I went about as far as we can go.
Oh, no, you haven't. Next week, you're going to give them both barrels. Here.
Now, wait a minute, Ned. This is going too far.
Print it.
But a bandit, nobody will believe it. Not about Wyatt Earp.
Oh, yes, they will. If you're going to tell a lie about someone, tell a big one. Tell it big and tell it often. If you throw enough mud, some of it'll stick. You'll never wash it all off.
Oh, there you are, Mayor. I stopped by your office. You read it, huh?
Yes, I have, Doctor. Nobody's gonna believe this stuff. That Dameron has no sense at all. You wait till you see the next edition of my paper when it comes out.
But it's right here in print. People won't stop to think that Dameron could be lying.
What? Wyatt Earp, the notorious bandana bandit? Ah, it's ridiculous. That Dameron's a fool.
Well, I think we ought to have a council meeting anyhow.
What for? There's nothing to it. It's all a pack of lies.
I don't know, Mayor. Last haircut that Earp had, he sure had a mighty big roll in his pocket.
You've got company, Wyatt.
Where have you been, Marshal Earp?
He's been out collecting his wife's wages and holding up another stage.
This is no joking matter, Holliday.
I agree.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
Well, Wyatt, the town council has just had a meeting. Have you seen the latest issue of the Nugget?
As well as the last one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, Wyatt, the council is insisting that I ask you this question. Have these allegations any basis in fact?
Well, now, everybody knows, Mayor, that I really have 3 wives and that I have 50,000 Wells Fargo dollars in a secret bank account.
There you are, Mr. Jeffers. I told you there wasn't anything in it.
We can't afford to have you slandered, Wyatt. The law and order party's not that strong in Tombstone.
Another thing, Brother Earp, you must take some action to clear your name.
Well, now, come on, gentlemen. You don't believe those stories, and neither does anybody else.
You have too high an opinion of the human race. You don't realize people like to believe scandal.
Not my friends.
An honest marshal has no real friends.
Don't you realize your silence is saying the Nugget is telling the truth?
And what would you suggest I do?
Sue 'em, Wyatt. Sue Dameron and the Nugget. Sue 'em for damages.
I see. Well, I have not been damaged, gentlemen. Now, go on back to your offices, will you? I have that horse thief case coming up tomorrow, and I have to prepare my testimony for court. Goodbye, gentlemen. And thank you very much for your support. That means you too, Doc. Go on, get out of here.
Wyatt, did you ever hear of Nero?
Judge Timberlake's walking horse?
No, the Emperor. The fellow who set fire to Rome.
You mean the one that fiddled while Rome burned?
You believe that?
Well, it's the truth, isn't it?
No. That was written by some Roman scandalmonger. Historians have since found out that actually is a big lie.
Well, that's the way I heard it.
That's just it. Somebody printed that lie about poor old Nero, and now everybody believes it, no matter what they found out since then. Once the scandal gets started, nothing will kill it.
I see. You're talking about me and the Nugget, huh?
That's right. That's just what I'm talking about.
Well, there's just one big difference, Doc. Nero was a Roman emperor. He's in the history books. I'm just a U.S. Marshal in Arizona Territory.
It's no difference, Wyatt. You'll be in history books someday.
Me?
50, 60 years from now, some fellas will be writing histories of Arizona. When they get to the year 1881, who do you think they'll write about?
Well, not about me.
Oh, yes, they will. And when they get to Tombstone, they'll write about the people in it, won't they? You, Old Man Clanton, Johnny Ringo, the 10% ring. They might even include a footnote about me somewhere. Where do you think they're going to get this information? From some poor old person who's still alive, or some old copies of the Nugget that are still around? That's where.
Well, now, what can I do about that?
You can sue the Nugget and stop Dameron.
Well, Dameron doesn't count, and it isn't worth the time that it would take. Look, will you get out of here? I got some important work to do.
It's all right with me, Wyatt. If you want your name to go down in history with a slur on it. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Wyatt, when you're through, come down to your office. We'd like to talk to you.
Let's talk right here.
You, Doctor.
Wyatt, I've been defending you in my newspaper, but it doesn't seem to have done any good. The talk against you is getting stronger.
Get to the point, Mayor.
Well, unless you take some action to clear your name, the council feels it'll have to ask for your resignation.
You can't be serious.
You're reading the paper yourself, and yet you ask that?
It says right there you've been taking money from every gambling house in Tombstone and threatening to close them up if you don't get it. Do you deny it?
You're beginning to believe this, aren't you?
It's right there in print, isn't it?
Hal, you've been reading the Nugget, haven't you?
Oh, don't get me in on this, Marshal. I can't cut hair just on one side. Not and stay in business, I can't.
You too, huh?
Now, don't take it like that, Wyatt. Nobody wants to believe that stuff.
But you do, don't you?
We didn't say that, Brother Earp.
Now you want my badge back. Well, gentlemen, when the council's ready to demand my resignation, I'll be at the office.
Hi, Wyatt.
Excuse me, Doc, but I am not in the mood to visit with anybody right now.
I figure that, but things will get worse.
They already have.
Too bad. I had something else on my mind.
Oh?
How would you like to make some big money, Wyatt?
Doing what?
Well, when I was playing poker last week, a fella got ambitious when he was holding 4 tens, and I had 4 queens. Now I find myself in possession of the Sally Silver Mine, but it'll take $25,000 to get it producing again. You put up the money and half the mine is yours.
Now, where would I get $25,000?
You're talking to your old friend, Doc. You're not on the witness chair now.
What do you mean by that?
I saw you collecting that money from Maine Griffith at the palace last night.
You what?
Yes, and at half a dozen other saloons, too. It's all right with me, Wyatt, but you should have $25,000 by now.
I was collecting tax money for the new school. That's part of my job.
Sure, sure.
You believe those stories?
Some of them seem reasonable. And I'd be the last one to blame you, Wyatt.
Oh, you would you? Well, I'd made up my mind that I wasn't going to give a newspaper like the Nugget the satisfaction of being sued. But I see you have to protect yourself against your friends as well as your enemies.
Now, Miss Audrey, did you make the statements attributed to you in the Nugget?
Yes, sir.
And are they true? Oh, yes, sir. Wyatt said we should keep our marriage a secret. After we were married by the Justice of the Peace in Benson, Wyatt gave me money to rent a suite at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. But pretty soon he said it was costing him too much, so he made me go to work at the bird cage.
And what happened to your wages?
Oh, I gave them to my husband, Mr. Earp. He made me.
Order in the court. Proceed, Mr. Taggart.
One more thing, Miss Audrey. Do you have the wedding license?
Oh, yes, I have it here.
I was riding shotgun on the Prescott stage when this road agent stepped out from behind a rock and got the drop on me.
And did you see his face?
Yes, sir. When he reached down to pick up the Wells Fargo box, the bandana fell down and I seen him clear as day.
And do you see this man now, here in this courtroom?
Yes, sir. That's him right there. It was Wyatt Earp.
Your Honor, this man is lying. Sit down, Mr. Earp.
Miss Griffin, what is your profession?
Mr. Taggart, I own and operate the Palace Bar and Gambling Hall. You know that.
On or about June 1st of this year, did Mr. Wyatt Earp enter your establishment and make you a proposition?
Yes, sir, he certainly did.
And what was the nature of that proposition?
Well, after drinking a whole bottle of my whiskey, which he didn't pay for, he said I'd have to make him a silent partner. If I didn't, he'd close me up and run me out of town.
And what share of ownership did Mr. Earp demand?
50%. I've been paying him $500 a week as his share of the profits. Besides what he shook out of the girls, that is.
Now, Mayor Clum, you've been saying that Marshal Earp is one of the most honorable men you've ever known.
That is absolutely right, sir.
Yet, in spite of that opinion, is it not possible that Marshal Earp could have married the young lady Audrey Johnson and even have put her to work in the birdcage?
Well, that is hardly probable.
Answer yes or no, sir.
Oh, it's possible, yes.
And therefore, is it not also possible that Marshal Earp is the bandana bandit and a half owner of the palace? Is it not, Mayor Clum?
Well, I suppose anything could be possible, yes.
That will be all, thank you.
Wait a minute! Anything could be possible, lawyer, but that question...
10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yes, I know, Wyatt, but let's face it, things are going badly for you. Look what happened to me on the stand.
I just don't understand how they can tell such lies. Me married, taking our wages.
Well, lies or not, you are up a dry gulch. Now, you better do something.
Do what? I took your advice. I sued the man. Look what happened.
Yes, I know. There's got to be some way to stop Dameron.
Outside, Clum. This is personal and private with Earp.
You stay here. What's on your mind, Mr. Clanton?
Well, nothing social, Earp.
Then state your business.
Why ain't you defending yourself at that trial? Them documents is forgeries, every one of them. Even I know that, and I ain't no friend of yourn.
Knowing it is one thing, proving it is another. Nothing I can do.
Well, hang my hide. A couple more days of that kind of testimony, we'll have a new marshal around here.
Well, that shouldn't bother you any.
Typical John Law, you, Sonny. I can figure out every time. I don't want no new marshal in here gumming things up.
Mr. Clanton, your solicitude for Marshal Earp is very touching.
Never mind. If you could prove that all that testimony's a heap of lies, you'd be in the clear, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now, for instance, that Audrey girl said she's married to you. If you could produce Her real husband right there in court. That'd mean winning your whole case, maybe, wouldn't it?
Yes, very neatly.
If she's got a husband.
She's got one. Just last week he's in jail in Tucson, but he ain't now. Bring him in. Now, you done me what you thought was a favor a few days ago. You figured you saved my life and made me beholden to you. You even figured I couldn't kill a man what I owed my life to. Well, by thunder, you're paid.
Mr. Clanton, I thank you. Get inside.
Mr. Dameron, in view of the testimony now proved fraudulent, it is the opinion of this court that you have abused the freedom of the press to slander an honest man. Now, the court orders you to cease and desist from libeling Mr. Earp in your newspapers. Mr. Earp is dropping the suit for damages against you because he considers the testimony adduced in this hearing to completely vindicate him. However, any repetition of libel will force me to hold you in contempt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This case is dismissed.
Wyatt, I'll ask you one more time. Won't you please reconsider and take your badge back? You're not going to like it in California.
Oh, yes, I will. Goodbye. Mayor Clum.
Doc.
Wyatt, what's this I hear about California?
That's where I'm going.
Don't you realize if you leave, you're playing into the hands of the 10% ring? That's what they wanted all along.
Probably.
Not probably. They'd love to have you leave. California, anywhere.
Well, that suits me. Be a lot more saloons in California for me to take money from. I don't belong here.
Deacon, don't be a fool. Sometimes you gotta get a friend mad before he'll protect himself.
Well, you got me mad, all right. Thanks, Doc.
It's all right, Deacon. Come on over the Alhambra. I'll buy you a glass of milk.
Doc. Look, I give you my word you'll get your money back. And I gave my word to those two thieves that if they confessed, you'd leave them alone.
Your word? What about mine? I said I'd kill them.
You'll hang for it.
I'll hang for something eventually, Wyatt. Why not for this? I've walked away from gunfights because you've asked me to. And I've winged men when I should have shot them dead. Now, these fellas admitted they robbed me. I think you've got a presumptuous nerve asking me to let them live.
I'm trying to save you from the gallows.
Thanks, Deacon. No. Just do a good job with the rope.
I won't even be there.
You mean you turn me over to a public hangman?
That's right.
That's friendship. That's real loyalty. You and I won't be speaking anymore.
Wyatt Earp was the only true friend Doc Holliday had in the cruel and wicked world of the American frontier. People who knew both Wyatt and Doc wondered how long Marshal Earp could tolerate a man who drank so much, was a gambler, and a nasty-tempered killer. Residents of Tombstone waited for the day when Wyatt's patience would run out.
Bid 500. $30 days. Well, you brought me luck again, Deacon. What do you advise me to do?
Cash in and quit.
Well, all right.
Hey, you know, I ain't seen Doc around today.
Nope. I I told him to invest his gambling profits in something reliable. He's had a mighty lucky streak lately.
Yeah, how much?
15,000.
15,000? Well, he's a sure enough rich man, ain't he?
Doc's been richer than that a lot of times. Trouble is, gamblers are never satisfied. He'll probably lose all of his money in a day or so.
Hey, bartender, give me a drink.
Hey, who you pushing, old man?
I ain't pushing nobody.
You're too.
My hand, me a gun.
Why don't you just snip one out on the floor, old man? Hold it. Too sass.
Hold on, friend. You done me a good turn. Now, I ain't got much money, but I'd like to do something for you.
Forget it, old-timer.
No, I paid my debts. I can give you a good tip on a silver claim.
The real lowdown, huh?
By the Silver Spoon. There's a couple of fool miners over at the Cosmopolitan Hotel trying to sell it.
The Silver Spoon. I already like the name. I'll thank you, my friend. Deacon! One moment. I got a tip on the silver claim. The Silver Spoon. Now, don't frown. I doubled my money in 3 hours.
You mean you now have $30,000?
I just gave you good news, not bad.
Doc, I hate to think of you stretching your luck. Look, why don't you take that money and make a sensible investment, like some good stocks or bonds?
Well, there's not much profit in bonds. Got an idea for a good stock?
Not necessarily, but well, if I had any money, I'd put it in railroads. Something like Union of Vermont.
Deacon, please. A Johnny Reb from Valdosta, Georgia, buying Union of Vermont? You have no delicacy of sentiment, no feeling of sacred principle.
By Central of Georgia.
Central of Georgia. Of course. I'll buy it. You're a positive genius, Deacon.
Look, Doc, just don't put all your money into one thing.
You brought me lots of luck before, Wyatt. See you later. Got some business at the telegraph office.
What? You better come quick.
What?
Doc is a buying the American Hotel.
American Hotel? He hasn't got that much money.
Oh, yeah. He bought himself some railroad stock here a while back, and they've done divided the shares 3 for 1, whatever that means. Anyway, Doc says he's got $90,000 hard cash.
$90,000?
$90,000, yes, sir. But I can tell you he ain't gonna keep it very long. Now, you tell me what in tarnation Doc Holliday knows about running a hotel. Nothing.
This is diabolism.
Diabolism? Is that so?
Now,
what is that?
Well, Mr. Gibbs, it's a cynical theory in some quarters that the devil intervenes in human affairs and looks after his own.
Yeah. Well, somebody's done sure looked after Doc, all right. But I still say he shouldn't put all that money in a hotel.
Who are we to say what he should do?
Well, you're his best friend, ain't you? You want him to go broke again?
No. Guess we better go talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the name to Holiday House. And I want a big sign with Old English lettering. Can you do Old English?
I can even do Gaelic.
No, I want Old English.
As you say, Doc.
Good. And McCleary?
Yes, sir.
I don't want that black on white stuff. I want gold lettering on a royal purple background.
Gold lettering? What in the devil is that for?
For my patron saint, of course, the devil.
Lord save us all.
Doc, this must be some kind of a joke. Never wanted to be in the hotel business?
It's no joke, Wyatt. It's always been my secret ambition.
See, what to tell you.
Look, Doc.
Save your breath, Deacon. I've already bought it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Now, I want you boys to come inside with me so I can show you my plans for changing this monstrosity into a fine, tasteful hotel. This way. And where can you get a decent meal in Tombstone? Tough steaks from those range-fed cattle around here, soggy fried potatoes. Ooh.
There's good enough meals, Doc.
Oh? Well, then how would you like to start with oysters New Orleans, a bisque of lobster Delmonico, quail under glass a la Canfield, a rack of spring lamb Savaron?
Doc,
Souffle potatoes with small vegetables for you. Were you going to say something?
I'm speechless.
Ah, you do have a soul, Wyatt. Well, gentlemen, come with me, and I'll show you my plans to arrange the saloon. Right this way. Come, boys. And I'm going to hire the chef from the Palace Hotel in San Francisco. It'll cost me $6,000 a year, but I want to serve food that I can eat.
Well, it's your money, Doc.
That must be Mrs. Stoney and Emile. Come in. Mrs. Stoney, I want you to meet my best friend, Marshal Wyatt Earp.
Oh, how do you do, Marshal?
Mrs. Stoney?
From Atlanta, Georgia.
My late husband commanded the 17th Brigade under General Hood.
A very fine outfit, ma'am.
One of the best. And this is Emile Bertrand, my maitre d'.
I have heard of Marshal Earp. It is an honor.
Oh, thank you.
Mrs. Stoney and Emile are very busy right now getting things started.
Oh, yes. Do please excuse us, Mr. Earp. So many details to attend to before the refurnishing commences.
Of course.
We hope we will have the pleasure of serving you, monsieur.
I'll be a steady customer.
That will be very fine. The wine list is almost completed, monsieur.
I'll be glad to go over it with you just as soon as it's ready.
Thank you.
What's troubling you now?
I was just wondering whether a town like Tombstone could support a high-class hotel like this.
Well, Virginia City has 3.
Like I said before, it's your money. I just hope you don't go overboard.
Oh, the financing. I still got $40,000 left. I paid $50,000 for the hotel. I ordered about $30,000 in alterations, furnishings, and the rest. That leaves me about $10,000 for operating cost. It's in this safe. You want to count it?
Oh, thanks. This is your affair.
You still don't approve, huh?
Well, I think I'm a mite envious. I've always wanted my own cattle spread.
It won't be long, Wyatt.
What for?
Your cattle spread. I've cut you in for 20% of the holiday house.
20? Oh, no, thanks, Doc.
You brought me luck, Wyatt. And quit acting like the church deacon that you are. My hotel is going to have no hijinks. I'm running a fine, respectable business. As a matter of fact, I might cater to family trade.
Well, I still can't take a cut.
Thought you'd say that. So I'll just deposit your share of the profits in the Tombstone Bank. Give it to charity if you insist.
Thanks, Doc. I wish you luck.
You're the good luck. The hotel can't miss. And incidentally, Wyatt, I'd like to keep that deputy's badge just the same, if you don't mind.
Just try and give it back. I need you. You're the fastest gun in Arizona. It's all right for you to play around with this hotel, but when I holler, you come running, huh?
Wyatt Earp, my one true friend. You're the luckiest strike I ever did make.
Yeah, well, I guess I better get back on that cowboy patrol. Say, when is the holiday house open?
As soon as the stuff I ordered from San Francisco gets here and our noble workman gets it installed.
Save me a glass of champagne, huh?
Champagne? Wyatt Earp drinking champagne? I don't believe it. I must go and blister McCleary's hide. I want that signed today.
Now be careful of that. Don't get your fingers on it. It's a little wet. Be careful of that gold. That's it. Now, how do you like that, Doc?
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
I thought you'd like it. Come on, boys. Let's get on with it.
My, oh, my, oh, my. That's awful pretty, Doc. Hey, Roscoe, take a look at that there gold sign. How do you like that, huh? How do you like that, boy. See, Roscoe likes it.
Well, that makes it official. I can't fail now.
That's for sure.
Is Holiday asleep? Much better than that. The marshal sent for him to identify some criminals.
Where's LMA?
She's waiting to unlock the door. She has a key to the office.
Well, I don't find him in any of the current posters.
You gonna check them Pinkerton circulars?
Yep.
Really, Wyatt, I've had a very tiring day. Asking a big hotel executive like me to come running.
Got these 3 men hanging around the Wells Fargo office. They claim to be Texas cowhands.
Oh? Well, 2 of them are.
Howdy, Doc.
Van Horn, isn't it? Dusty Claypool?
That's right.
Who's your friend?
I'm just a cowboy who lost his saddle.
I don't know this youngster, but these 2 work out of the Circle Star in the Panhandle.
They're not heisters?
No, they might rustle some caps now and then, but they'd never go against the Wells Fargo office.
Turn them loose, Mr. Gibbs.
Give me a fuse and cap. Better get over behind that settee.
Dr. Holliday. Dr. Holliday, the safe in the office. She is blown up. We have been robbed.
Robbed?
That beautiful safe, she is ruined.
Somebody's gonna die for this.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Cleaned. All my money gone.
Yeah, and they wasn't amateurs neither.
Mr. Stoney, just by any chance see who it was?
Oh, no, I just heard the noise. But by the time I got here... Oh, Dr. Holliday, I'm so sorry.
Did anybody see them? Look, Mrs. Stoney, try and pull yourself together. Somebody in the hotel must have seen them. Who was on duty at the desk?
Well, I don't know. Oh, it's all such a terrible shock. I think I'm going to faint.
Leave her alone, Wyatt. I'll take you to your quarters, ma'am. You should lie down.
Doc's awful polite to the lady, ain't he?
Yeah. Well, I think he's always secretly hankered to be respectable. That's why he bought this place. He won't have it long if we don't find the safecracker and get his money back. Mr. Gibbs, you go on over and watch the stage station. I'll question the hotel guests and the desk clerk.
All right, sir.
Don't smear the trail, Wyatt. My hoodlum friends will find them for me. I need that money. I've committed myself for it. I ordered all that stuff on sight draft for cash.
You're forgetting that this is my job. Now, will you let me take care of it?
It's me they rob, Wyatt. And it's me they'll answer to. You think I was joking when I said somebody would die for this?
Just take it easy, Doc.
Now, you stay out of this, Wyatt. Anybody who's robbed me isn't going to get away with just a plain jail sentence. The less you know about my plans, the easier it's going to be on all of us.
Like they're leaving town.
Only strangers had robbed Doc. I'm glad we followed them. I'll bet they are the ones that blowed his safe.
I never did like city slickers. Besides, we owe Doc a favor.
Hey! We want to talk to you!
It's us, Marshal. Claypool and Van Horn.
Keep an eye out.
We yell at them and they start shooting at us.
Looks like we found our men.
Yes, sir.
Now, Doc owes you a favor.
We'll call it even, Marshal.
Want us to help you find the money?
I got a pretty good idea where it is. All right, boys, move out. All right. I can either turn you over to Dr. Holliday, or I can offer you my protection if you talk. It's up to you.
If we talk, how much time do we have to serve?
I'm sure the judge will take your cooperation into consideration.
But you better talk up quick or you ain't gonna have no breath left to talk with.
Well, how we know Doc ain't going to kill us anyway?
You just have to take my word for that. Come on, Mr. Gibbs. We'll turn him over to Dr. Holliday.
I ain't dying for LMA and Emil.
Well, me neither. Hey, Marshal. We worked with them, too, before in Denver. They telegraphed for us to come here for this job.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, me. I'm looking for Marlin and Briscoe.
Somebody's been talking to you, huh?
Some of my friends saw the Circle Star Cowboys corner them last night. I assume you've got them locked up?
No. Mr. Gibbs took them out for breakfast.
Breakfast?
They're under protective custody.
Very well. I'll make sure I won't hurt Mr. Gibbs.
Doc, look, I give you my word you'll get your money back. And I gave my word to those two thieves that if they confessed, you'd leave them alone.
Your word? What about mine? I said I'd kill them.
You'll hang for it.
I'll hang for something eventually, Wyatt. Why not for this? I've walked away from gunfights because you've asked me to. And I've winged men when I should have shot them dead. Now, these fellas admitted they robbed me. And I think you've got a presumptuous nerve asking me to let them live.
I'm trying to save you from the gallows.
Thanks, Deacon. No. Just do a good job with the rope.
I won't even be there.
You mean you turn me over to a public hangman?
That's right.
That's friendship. That's real loyalty. You and I won't be speaking anymore. Morning, Gibbs. Gentlemen.
Morning, Doc. I'm glad to see you ain't as mad this morning as you was last night. Sit down and have some victuals. What are you doing, Doc?
Hold it, Gibbs. You gentlemen carrying any guns?
No, sir.
Now, Doc, use your brains.
Silence or I'll shoot you, too. I would suggest to you boys to go out and get yourselves some .45s to defend yourselves. But it wouldn't do any good. I could kill you anyway. Get up.
Don't do it, Doc.
I promised I would. And I will.
Wait a minute. Hold it, will you? Don't, will you? Don't! Don't! Don't!
Ain't worth hanging for, Doc.
They certainly aren't.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks very much.
You've led me to ruin morally and financially. I curse the day I ever hooked up with a church deacon, a man who doesn't like killing, a milk drinker.
Sure, Doc.
What I said still goes. You and I are not friends.
Well, if you insist.
Quit dogging me. Walk on the other side of the street.
Not until I give you back your $40,000.
Don't lie to me, Wyatt. That's the one thing you never did do.
See when you get over to your hotel. Marshal Earp. Thank you.
Mrs. Stoney, Emile. I don't appreciate this kind of a joke, sir, putting handcuffs on a gentlewoman. I must ask you to release her at once.
Just a minute. Take a look at this. They found it in her room last night, after Briscoe and Marlin confessed.
There must be some mistake. I just can't believe this of a lady from Georgia, from Atlanta, the widow of a gallant officer. Don't you worry, my dear. I'll put a stop to this frame-up on you.
Mrs. Stoney's real name is Ella Mae Jones. And she's not from Georgia. She was born in Chicago.
A Yankee?
And her husband, Emile, is just Emil Jones, and he's wanted in his home city by the police, Boston.
Don't let her cry her way out of this, Wyatt. I'll prosecute them both to the fullest extent of the law. You should get an extra year for even speaking the fair name of Georgia.
Let's go.
Boys, the settee is next. Easy now, that's a very valuable antique. Oh, Deacon. I'd like to talk to you. Purely as a matter of business, of course. I just wanted you to know that your credit is good any time at Holiday House.
You, gonna be serving fresh milk?
Milk? For you, even that.
And was hand in glove with the Clanton Outlaws and the corrupt 10% ring, took a strange new turn when Miss Minna Marlin arrived in Tombstone. Miss Marlin was the star of a dramatic company playing at the Birdcage Theater, but she became the central figure of a real-life drama, a drama which had the whole town talking.
Good evening.
Oh, Mr. Bean, this is delightful.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Might I have a vase for your lovely flowers?
For you, anything.
Well,
Would you put these flowers in a vase, Miss Marlin, please? Thank you. May I?
oh, it's a lovely dinner, Mr. Bean.
Thank you.
No more champagne, thank you. I must go and study my lines for the play tomorrow night.
You know, you work much too hard. Taking a stock company on tour is certainly no job for a lovely woman.
On the contrary, I find it very exciting.
Oh, you really can enjoy these Yahoo audiences.
I certainly do. They respond with honest emotion. Oh, it's better than those cities like San Francisco. The people are terribly sophisticated. Finish your champagne. I'm afraid we must be going.
Well, I don't mind being hurried. You see, I've already fallen in love.
Oh, really? That was quick?
Oh, it must have happened before. I mean, other men must have fallen in love with you.
Not seriously, though. We mustn't forget my flowers.
Oh, yes. Miss Marlin, do you think I'm just a poor country sheriff?
Poor? I never ask a man how much money he has, Mr. Bean.
You know, my salary with fees is about $40,000 a year.
That's a lot.
And I collect all the taxes in Cochise County. My share of court costs and fees is around $10,000.
You are rich.
And I'm just getting started politically. You see, I'm trusted and supported by old man Clanton and his people. They like me in Tucson. As a matter of fact, I might even get to be governor of the territory one day. You know, telling you things like this isn't very romantic, but I believe that a woman who's used to luxuries Shouldn't sacrifice them. And believe me, Miss Marlin, you won't have to.
I'll hold the flowers while you wrap a napkin around the stems, please.
Yes. You know, I didn't expect you to commit yourself in such a brief acquaintance, but I had to let you know how I really felt.
It's very flattering, Mr. Behan.
And you're not angry?
Of course not, but we must be going.
Miss Marlin, you will see me again?
I'll give it serious thought, Mr. Behan. I should hate myself and you for a loveless marriage. I will not be purchased like a slave girl. I will not join a harem I will not be purchased like a slave girl and join a harem of desolate memories. Yes. Oh, one moment. Come in.
Thank you.
You're very prompt, Marshal.
Well, it isn't often that I get such a pleasant summons, Miss Marlin. Most actresses I've met... Well, you have some information that troubled you?
Yes. Would you sit down?
Thank you.
I had supper last night with your sheriff. It was a most revealing conversation. It might have been the champagne or the fact that he felt he should impress me, but I don't think an officer of the law should brag about his friendship with lawless men. Did you happen to know about his connection with the Clantons, for instance?
Well, even the voters know about it. They don't seem to care.
Oh, that's dreadful.
Well, it's the politics of this territory. We're still fighting the Civil War.
Is Mr. Behan a Confederate?
No. I have too much respect for the Johnny Rebs to call Behan or Old Man Clanton Confederates. You see, Arizona Territory was settled primarily by deserters from the Southern Army and outlaw renegades.
I didn't know that.
Well, there's no reason why you should. But it's my job to know, and it's my job to try and clean up Arizona. Sheriff Behan chose the other side.
Well, I don't know what to do about him. He says he's in love with me and that he wants to marry me.
I never heard of Behan offering marriage before.
He did. He even told me his wedding gift is going to be the profit from a big shipment of silver ore. $50,000 worth. It's very embarrassing. After what he's told me about himself, I foolishly promised to see him again tonight. Of course, I'll have to break the appointment. I didn't like him very much, but I had no reason to refuse him. I'm sorry, Marshal. I shouldn't make this your concern.
I'll be a very willing volunteer.
Volunteer?
Miss Marlin, I'd be very proud to take you to supper tonight myself.
Oh. Oh, well, I guess I better tell you the truth.
Truth?
I used Mr. Behan to try to interest you. Oh, I know it's terribly feminine and disgusting.
Well, it is feminine, but I like it.
A woman shouldn't chase after a man.
We're not doing that. I just think that you want me to help you get rid of Behan. And as long as the truth is being told, I better toss in my share. I don't like Behan much either. Considers himself quite a ladies' man.
And if you took me away from him, he'd be considered a laughingstock.
Well, that's part of it.
What's the other part?
Well, the other part is that I've been watching you from the back of the theater every night. And Mr. Behan had nothing to do about that.
Why, thank you, Marshal.
It's true that there is bad blood between me and the sheriff, but you shouldn't concern yourself about it. You'll just be in Tombstone another week, and that'll be just another booking on your tour.
I doubt that.
Well, supper tonight, then, after the show?
Tonight.
Tonight.
Good evening, Miss Marlin.
Oh, Mr. Behan, didn't you get my message?
No, I didn't.
Evening, Johnny.
Evening, Marshal.
I'm sorry. Mr. Earp has invited me for supper. I sent you a note.
I see.
I am sorry, Mr. Bean. Good night.
Good night.
So Wyatt Earp beat your time.
Oh, shut up.
Old man Clanton wants to see you, Sheriff, right away.
Later.
He said right now.
2 for you, 2 for me.
What's the idea, Mr. Clanton?
Sit on the sofa. We're busy.
I'm not one of your hired hands, Mr. Clanton. I happen to be the sheriff of Cochise County. If you think you're going to push me around, you're mistaken.
Shut up. I'll bet 50. Well, I got a full house king high. Any of you boys do any better? Well, my pot. It's a good one, too. Looks like you boys still got a little bit to learn about poker. Now we'll take care of Mr. Bean. Bring him over here. What'd you tell that actress gal about what we got planned?
Nothing. Why would I do a thing like that?
Last night, the waiter at the American Hotel heard you bragging to her about how much money you made. Then in the lobby, it was heard to say you collected taxes, and some ranchers let others off without paying. You denying you said that?
I guess I had too much champagne.
Champagne. What you need's a good pistol whipping.
Shall we take him outside, boss?
Not this time. Bean, I don't care about you strutting and bragging on what a big man you are, long as it's about things that everybody already knows. But you keep away from that Minna Marlin. There's some plans I ain't anxious for nobody to hear about. You hear me?
Yes, sir, but I didn't say...
I know about actresses. They ain't reliable. Now, there's plenty of women for you around here got sense enough to keep their mouths shut when you don't. All right. Go on back to Tombstone now. Never did see a whole man you could buy. Always turns out to be not more than half a man. Your deal.
It doesn't look very much like San Francisco, does it?
No. But it has a sort of frightening beauty about it. It looks like the landscape on a star.
I think you should write a piece for Mr. Clum's newspaper.
Maybe I will. You in love with Arizona?
No, not exactly.
Why do you stay here?
Because I have a job to do.
Aren't there other men who could do it?
Oh, sure. There are lots of them, but I started it, and I can't quit now.
Like, not deserting in the face of the enemy?
Something like that.
Now, I was thinking. My folks own a very large construction company in San Francisco. They could give you a much better position there than you have here.
Why would they do that?
They want me to quit the stage. I couldn't make a deal. Well, you wouldn't have to fall in love with me. I would just hint to the family that you might.
Your family that desperate?
Yes. But they wouldn't have to be after they met you.
I think it's time we'd better be going. I've got to go on patrol at 3 o'clock.
What's the matter?
Look, I just wouldn't exactly make good husband material.
Why?
Because I'm just a John Law and makes $150 a month. I can't get any life insurance. All the agents tell me I'm a bad risk. And it's true.
Does that mean you could never fall in love with me?
No. I'm trying to say that I think you ought to forget about this.
And if I don't?
You will.
I don't think so.
Look, this is all my fault, and I'm sorry. You were worried about being, and I took advantage of that. I tried to make him jealous, and that was wrong. We should stop imagining things about us. You're an intelligent girl. You should know better.
Yes, sir.
You go on back to San Francisco. Fall in love with somebody that has something to offer. They dig a new grave for me every week. I can't leave, and if I don't, I'll wind up in Boot Hill. Are you back in your right mind?
Mm-hmm. Marry me?
You get up in that bucket.
Who is it?
Johnny B, and I've got to talk to you.
Well, not now. Later, please.
Right now. You and Earp have me in serious trouble.
We have.
Yes, I talked too much and I was overheard. Old man Clanton threatened me. But I'm all right with Clanton now as long as you don't talk to Earp. Clanton thinks Earp's pumping you for information.
Wyatt knew all about you already.
You told him what I said?
Miss Marlin on stage.
I've got to go. I suggest you talk to Wyatt. He doesn't seem to be afraid of Mr. Clanton.
But, Miss Marlin, will you listen to me?
I'm sorry.
I've got to talk to you.
Well, talk.
I'm in bad with old man Clanton.
Good.
Wait a minute. You want to see Miss Marlin get hurt?
How could she get hurt?
Because I talk too much. Nothing important, but old man Clanton may get the idea that I told her more than I really did, and he might think she's repeating it to you.
He doesn't make war on women, Johnny.
He could this time. Earp, I'm asking you to stay away from her.
You couldn't be jealous now, could you?
I knew you were going to say that. But I'm only thinking about Miss Marlin. And if you had any real feelings, you'd persuade her to leave town. Look, Earp, I'm asking you this one time. You gotta believe me.
I'll have a talk with her.
Thanks.
See? I was right, boss. Earp's taking her away from Johnny.
Well, I made up my mind that gal's real dangerous. She'll tell Earp everything she knows.
What are you gonna do? Are we gonna kill her?
Oh, sure. I never had to kill no women yet. No, we'll just fix it so as nobody will believe what she says.
I should have a look at that other room, may I?
Go ahead. I have a weakness for melodrama.
I don't like that balcony window in there. Too close to the back stairs. Why don't you change quarters?
Oh, now really, Wyatt. Am I going to be a victim of a murder or something?
Bean's telling the truth for the first time in his life. He can't afford to take chances.
All right. Then why don't you stay here and guard me?
In here? No.
People will talk, hmm?
He certainly would. Look, there's nothing funny about this. Clanton's got hangers-on all over town. You know how to handle a gun?
Oh, I've shot many villains with blank cartridges.
You take this. Keep your doors and windows locked. I'll be back in about an hour.
One of your very own 45s? I'll sleep with it under my pillow.
Look, we can't afford to take chances. Now, I'll be back by 1 a.m. You stay in that bedroom.
When you come back here, will you stay?
Yes. Outside. You lock the door behind me. Mr. Gibbs, you watch the front of the hotel. When we leave and head for the theater, you follow and post yourself there. I don't know when or where Mr. Clanton will try to get at her, but we'll put McMaster's on the north patrol, put Daggett on the south side.
Wyatt, where's your other gun?
I'll tell you about that later. Come on.
Wyatt, is that you? Who's there?
Close that door.
There, you folks go about your business. Get along with you.
You any idea who he is?
I never saw him before. I was dozing in the bedroom and I heard sounds.
Well, it sure looks mighty peculiar to me, Wyatt. That there little old play-acting dagger ain't hardly strong enough. There's blood spots leading from the hall door, too.
I know it.
Well, I'll go get Doc Goodfeller.
Go and get dressed.
Am I arrested?
No. Another hotel with Mr. Gibbs on guard is the place for you. Now, you know the dead man, you know who murdered him. Let's have some honest talking, Johnny.
All right, will you make the arrest? Well, old man Clanton will kill me.
No, he won't. He needs you too much. Of course, we could have Miss Minna stand trial and be charged with murder.
I think a lot more of her than you do.
All right, then you play the big hero. Let's get Mr. Gibbs in a ride.
Hold it. Limpy Davis and his boys are right around that rock in a draw. We're waiting for Clanton to pay him off.
Let's go on in.
No, wait a minute. Now, I better go in first. They know me, and they won't be expecting trouble.
Johnny could double-cross us, Wyatt.
We'll have our guns on him. After you, Sheriff.
It's all right, boys. It's only Ben.
Well, boys.
Did you bring our money?
No, I'm going to arrest you.
This is a joke. Why, you double-crossing Judas. Hold it! Throw him down!
Private. Come on!
Mr. Gibbs.
I made Limpy think he was dying. Oh, I got a confession. Limpy stabbed that saddle tramp with this knife. Then they hired Limpy's boys to put the body in your hotel suite.
Then the prop dagger didn't kill him.
No.
But who stole it from our trunks in the birdcage?
Simple, your doorman. They bribed him to do it. Then they switched knives. and used the prop dagger to incriminate you.
It's amazing, Mr. Bean. Without you, I would have been tried for this frame-up. I'm ever so grateful.
Not at all. The next time I'm in San Francisco, I hope to call on you.
The stage will stop right outside for you, Miss Miller.
Thank you, Marshal. Would you excuse us, Mr. Bean?
Oh. Goodbye.
You know, Bean really did solve the murder. You ought to go back to San Francisco and forget that all of this ever happened.
I won't forget, Marshal.
All aboard. All aboard. Hey, Marshal Earp.
She'll be right out. Who plundered the Southwest, and among them were the very successful bank robbers called the Harlequins. 5 cunning killers who disguised themselves as clowns to conceal their identity, a device which enabled them to elude some of the most famous law officers of the West.
Stand back. What kind of get-up's that?
It's one of the Harlequins. You've heard of them before.
A harlequin? You mean them bank robbers?
That's right. Let's see what he looks like.
A harlequin, huh? What might your real name be?
Oh, you needn't be asking me that, for I'll never tell you.
It doesn't matter. All we have to know is that he's a harlequin. Get him over to Dr. Goodfellow, have him patch him up. I'm going to follow those others.
You'll find the Harlequins, it's a dead marshal you are. Meaning no disrespect to yourself, of course.
Thanks for the warning.
All right, give me a hand with Mr. Funnyface here.
What are we doing here? Why'd you make us stop?
I'll tell you later. Joe, put the horse in that abandoned mine shaft. Give me that money you're carrying.
Well, we're in the clear now. We're out of sight in this shack. Gonna get me some sleep before we head on back to Tombstone.
Back? Well, now, that's a real brilliant idea. What about the money? We gonna take that back, too?
No, we're not gonna take that back, too. We'll hide it under the floor, that is, unless you've got a better idea.
No, I didn't mean to make you sore.
Well, start getting out of that rig.
Just the same, Tex. It ain't smart going back there.
We've been together 2 years. 2 years we had our agreement. One of us gets caught, the rest gets him out. Now, it's plain and simple. Y'all agreed to it, and there'll be no backing out now.
Look at it, sensible Tex. Nobody knows us. We don't need Casey anymore.
That's right. We disappear and live like kings somewhere.
Now, you boys is overlooking just one little thing. Casey knows who we are.
Oh, he wouldn't tell nothing.
Oh, he'll be real quiet till we come get him. But the day he figures we're long gone, that's the day when everybody finds out who we are. Now, do you savvy?
You know he's right. Tex, you think we lost that, Marshal?
Even Indian trackers would have a hard time following that trail in them rocks we come through. Well, you and Newt get started on that floor. And don't mark up the wood.
Well, Mr. Mayor, what am I going to do? I can't give those people their money, not all of them.
You've got enough on hand to pay out some, haven't you?
Sure, but that $50,000 last night, I can't replace it. No bank could.
You try to keep him satisfied until Wyatt gets back. Maybe he's had some luck.
It ain't gonna be easy getting Casey out of that jail.
Well, Marshal's got to go to bed sometimes, and he sleeps at the hotel. Oh, and Newt, you let me worry about it, huh? You just do what you're told, same as always.
Yeah, let Tex worry about it. He and Casey's smart. I wish Casey's here now.
So does he, Tim. Tombstone will be full of cowboys just like we are. And we go in same as anybody. When the time's right, we move on to jail. All right?
Boy, am I glad to see you. Did you have any luck?
Yep, all bad. Tracked in the rock country, lost the trail. Went beyond the brush country, still couldn't find it.
Well, so this whole town's in uproar. Everybody's scared to death, ain't gonna get their money. Well, it appears to me we're gonna have to take out a posse just to cool things down a mite, whether we catch them fellers or not.
Well, I got a hunch the Harlequins are gonna come back to Tombstone.
Come back for what?
Him, they gotta get him out.
With $50,000 to divide between them, they're clean across the border by now, or traveling first class to New York.
They're too smart to leave him behind. They've never been caught, and they've never been identified. All they have to do is to drift into Tombstone without their costumes and take the chances. We won't know who they are or where they are until it happens.
Well, sir, if you're right, we got a whopping job on our hands.
We've got one advantage, Mr. Gibbs. They gotta come in here to get at him.
Ah, lad. So you didn't catch me Harlequin boys after all. That's a pity now you had that massive long ride, all for nothing.
Well, now, any pity is yours, not mine. Oh, you can smile, but you're a liability to the Harlequins now that your face is known.
It's a clever fellow you are, Marshal Wyatt, but you don't know it all. You see, my secret lies in the other things I be.
Such as keeping your mouth shut. Well, if the boys think that you won't talk, they can just let you stay here in jail and keep the money. Or kill you right in here, just to keep you from squealing on them.
You'll have to do better than that. I'm not frightened at all.
No? Well, try this one out. When you stand trial, the record of the Harlequins will put you in prison for the rest of your life. Even if we don't know what your name is.
And you'll never get me to trial. You have my promise on that.
I wouldn't count on breaking out of here if I were you. Your friends will never get you out of my jail. And I give you my promise on that.
Well, I'll be watching to see how you go about capturing the Harlequin boys. Oh, you're a bright one for certain. Good day to you, Marshal.
What do you say?
Nothing. He's waiting for a jailbreak.
You gonna put on extra deputies?
Just scare him off with too heavy a guard.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, he sure talks with a brogue, don't he?
And why would you be saying that, lad? Oh, 'tis a pity to be finding myself in jail, it is. There, now, be a good lad and unlock the door for me.
Well, burn my hide. You take him off better than he does himself. You know, White, you ought to have been one of them play actor fellers. That's darn good imitating.
White. How'd you make out?
I lost the trail.
Well, can you come down to the bank right away? Mr. Stacy says unless something's done, why, he's going to go bankrupt.
I don't know what I could do.
Well, at least you could talk to the man.
I'll not be long, lad. Keep your eyes peeled and your gun ready.
Oh, get along out of here, will you?
What's that all about?
Huh? We're just imitating our prisoner.
Go on, Mr. Clanton. Get right in there. Get right in there. Open up here.
Hold it right there, Philip. I want to talk to you. What's this I hear about the bank being robbed, cleaned out by a bunch of clowns?
You heard right, Mr. Clanton. You trying to say it wasn't your outfit?
Hush up. Every time anything happens around here, you think it's me. I run a big business, and my boys got plenty to do without messing around trying to rob banks. You done anything about finding that money? Is your vigilantes doing anything to help?
Now, you seem awful interested in law enforcement all of a sudden. How come?
Gee, Jehoshaphat, I got money in the place, that's why, and I'm getting it out right pronto. Then I'm going over to that Arizona bank and do the exact same thing. I ain't waiting for it to get robbed.
Clanton, you got any idea what'd happen if everybody does that? The banks would go broke and people will lose their money.
You're wasting your breath. Mr. Clanton doesn't care what happens to other people.
Well, now, I care enough to give you a piece of advice. You catch them fellas, or I'll see you fired right out from under that star you're strutting. Ain't no clown's gonna make a fool out of me.
So Emperor Clanton doesn't like outsiders pulling jobs in town. Now, that's too bad.
Never mind. You just start being a John Law, sonny, or take the consequences.
How about that? Clanton acting like an honest, righteous, outraged citizen.
Well, he's outraged, all right. But he did give me an idea. You tell Mr. Stacy I'll see him later.
Where you going?
Tell you when I get back. Mr. Borden, all I'm asking you to do is to loan some of your bank's cash to the Tombstone Bank. You'll get it back, sir.
I don't see any reason for helping a competitor, Marshal. It's his own fault that he was robbed. Pure carelessness.
He takes the same precautions you do, sir. And that's beside the point.
I'm sorry. I can't agree. Why, if people found out what I was doing, there'd be a run on my bank.
Sir, if I could guarantee that nobody would find out about it, would you do it?
Why should I?
Because if the Tombstone Bank goes broke, there'll be a financial panic that would ruin everybody. Do you want that?
Why, no, of course not.
Then do as I ask you, sir. We could make the transfer of the money sometime after midnight.
All right. Meet me at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. I'll be here.
card.
I'm out.
3 kings. Who is it?
Tex. Lock it again. Come over here. All right, now I want one of you boys just went all the time. Don't take your eyes off the jail. Anybody comes out, anybody goes in. I want to know about it. All right? I went back and got me a real good look at that jail. It ain't gonna be hard at all. We'll just wait till the marshal leaves, the deputy goes on patrol, and shoo, Casey's out. All right, let's deal the cards, see how it's running tonight.
Nothing happened?
Nothing except I'm getting darn hungry.
Go get yourself some chow. Get something for the prisoner, too. He'll be around here a while.
Anything I hate is a sitting around and waiting for something to happen. I'd rather be in a shootout.
Maybe we can help it along.
Well, I sure hope so, because I just ain't cut out for this.
Tex. That big deputy just left.
Marshal, stay inside?
Yeah.
Keep watching. Now, what do you have?
I'll take 2.
Well, Mr. Mayor?
What? Well, I checked the Cosmopolitan Hotel like you asked me to. 4 men registered in today. They're in a room overlooking the jail.
Fine. Next, you ask Mr. Stacy to close up the bank regular hours, post an announcement that he will be paying withdrawals again tomorrow.
Now, wait a minute. Why he can't do that? He won't have the currency.
We'll have enough by morning. Not the hold-up money, but he'll have enough from another source.
All right. I'll tell him. No, Wyatt, you aren't sticking your neck out, are you?
Yeah, way out. Out to here. But I thank you for asking. Done. Your vigilantes ready?
Well, I got 4 picked men. Going to meet me in exactly 13 minutes. Oh, Taylor brought those packages for you, Wayne.
I told you where I lost the trail of those Harligans.
Yeah.
You have your men stay out of sight.
Don't worry. We'll do our job. You just take care of yourself, boy. Shotgun.
What you got there, a new suit?
Here, put these on.
Put it on? What for? I can't wear your clothes.
They're not mine. They're your size. Taylor's been working all day trying to get them ready for you.
Well, you gonna tell me the scheme, or you gonna let me guess?
I want you to dress up like me. Go out the front, pretend like you're heading for my hotel. But you cut around and come in the rear door. Put your own clothes on, then pretend to go on patrol.
Well, what are you gonna be doing that you can't go?
Faith and I'll be getting rid of our clown the while. We'll put the dear lad out and me in his cell.
Yeah, I see. That's a pretty tricky idea, what?
There's one part of this I haven't told you yet.
Yeah, I know. Don't warn me about not shooting nobody. I ain't gonna shoot unless I have to.
No. We're gonna let him get their man. I mean, I'll be in Casey's clothes.
Oh, no, you ain't. You'll get yourself killed, so you can just forget about that right now.
That's the only way I can find out where the money's hidden.
There ain't no bank worth getting yourself killed over. We'll capture them when they come in here, and that's enough right there.
You and the vigilantes will be following me, Mr. Gibbs.
Yeah? How far back?
Just far enough so we can't hear the horses.
Wyatt, if you get yourself killed and I help you do it, I'll never get over it.
I won't get killed.
And now put on your new clothes, there's the lad. And be trusting me the once.
All right. Ain't my style.
Marshal just left, Tex.
Deputy still there?
Yeah.
Keep watching.
Good. Now get your own outfit on and get back here as soon as you can.
Tex. The deputy's leaving. All right, boys. That's what we've been waiting for. On our Newt. You go down the back way. Get the horses. Take them to the alley behind the jail. You got that?
Yeah.
All right. Get your tote bag. Go get them. You give Newt 2 minutes, then follow him down the back way. You go out the front, I'll follow you in 2 minutes. Now cut around behind the jail quick as you can and wait for me. All right, go get it.
Well, how do I look?
Right. And how is it now, lad? You'd never know it was my own dear self, now would you?
I sure wouldn't. You better get in that cell while you still got time.
Don't wait too long to follow me.
Casey! How come you still got that rig on?
And what do you think I'd be wearing this night? Been expecting you some time, I have.
I don't get sore. Sorry we took so long, but it couldn't be helped. You hurt?
My arms, there's only a scratch. Come on.
Take your saddlebags. We got the money in that shack, Casey, and it's hid real good.
You did the right thing, my boy. We'll be getting it, then go on our way.
You the boys get started on the floor. You don't have to worry about us being followed, Casey.
They probably don't even know you're gone yet.
Ain't you gonna get out of that rig? We ain't got all day.
Yeah, Casey, how come you hadn't took off your mask?
'Tis not a ghost you're seeing, lads.
Marshal Earp at Tombstone, you're under arrest.
Hold it.
Reach!
You all right, White?
Yeah. Mr. Gibbs, put the handcuffs on him.
All right, boys, put some iron on them.
You and the vigilantes take him on back to town. Mr. Clement and I'll take the money.
Well, the bank's sure going to be glad to see you, White.
All I want out of this is to see Mr. Clanton's face when he hears we caught those no-good clowns.
cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail, and none can deny it. The legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.